Hi everybody, it's Francis. Hey, what you see here is called a brown dwarf. A brown dwarf star, which isn't necessarily a star, but it's an object that has great mass, but not enough to ignite the hydrogen atoms to become a full star. What we have here with a brown dwarf is an object that hasn't made it big enough in size and mass to become a star, but is still fusing heavy hydrogen atoms in its early life to produce heat and light. A brown dwarf early in life can shine like a star because it's burning its heavy hydrogen atoms, but because there's fewer heavy hydrogen atoms than regular hydrogen atoms in the universe, it burns up its fuel very quickly. Then it becomes dark and cold. A brown dwarf star normally is at the center of other planetary objects. So at the end of the life of a brown dwarf star, you can have a planetary object at the center of other planetary objects orbiting around it. You'll have a very dark and cold place. So far, up to 3,000 new brown dwarf stars have been discovered and are currently being researched by science. Also, it's important to note that many of the 3,000 newly formed and discovered, or not formed, but newly discovered brown dwarf stars actually orbit regular stars. You may know from our history that Nibiru is potentially, or has been known to be, a brown dwarf star with a solar system orbiting around it on its way into the inner solar system of our solar system. But as we go along in the future, we're going to talk more about brown dwarf stars that look similar to this. This one may be in the middle of the light because it's still emitting light and lots of heat, and it hasn't burned off all its heavy hydrogen atoms. But we're going to talk about it in the form of Nibiru. Is Nibiru a brown dwarf star? Does our star have a brown dwarf star orbiting around it? We don't really know because we haven't seen it or discovered it. And if it's on an orbital path that's tens of thousands of years long, how would we know? But hey, join me. My name is Francis, the Professor. Crash Course Astronomy, and we're going to find out more about brown dwarf stars and the universe and you and me together. So join me.